Hey losers, I'm Coral. Welcome back to my channel. If you're joining me for the first time, I like to read things that are unsettling and concerning. So if you're into that, welcome to the party. I'm here today with some books that I've acquired throughout the month. I am doing a Read What You Own challenge cycle, which is something conceptualized by Ollie over at Criminoli. Go check out his channel. But I did have, let's see here. I have a couple books that were pre-orders that came in. I have a couple books from publishers I was really lucky and grateful to receive this month, and one that I bought, and also, not to skip over it so quickly, we'll get to it, but also one that came in my broken binding subscription, which is a new to me subscription, but I'm really excited to get off that fucking waiting list and get my dang books. So, I guess let's just get right into it. So I'm going to start with the books that I was sent by publishers this month. The first one is Moonflow by Papercuts. This is her debut novel, I think. She's done some short stories, and also you might know her from the hilarious account The Midnight Pals, or what is it called? It's like it's a play on the Midnight Society, right? Maybe that's just what the handle is, Midnight Pals. But it's a play on the Midnight Society from Are You Afraid of the Dark? Where they start out the story and they're around the campfire, right? And then one kid tells the story and that's the episode. However, Papercuts has done this hilarious thing where it's a bunch of well-known horror authors around the campfire, like Stephen King, H.P. Lovecraft, a certain horrible fantasy writer makes her way into the story sometimes. It's so funny. A great account to check out if you're on, it says Blue Sky, which I'm not, but when I use Twitter, it seems like probably Papercuts doesn't use Twitter anymore, but when I used Twitter, I loved that account and it was always a highlight to read through those. But this is a debut novel about a woman who is a mushroom grower and something bad happens to like her crop, and it seems like she goes on the hunt for this specific kind of hard to find mushroom called King's Breakfast. And this seems like it's going to be trippy, maybe full of body horror, I'm hoping, and it sounds great. So this was sent to me by Orbit Books. I requested a copy and they sent it to me, so I'm super stoked to read this. Also, such a really fun cover. Next, one of my favorite indie publishers, Filthy Loot, sent me two of their newer anthologies. This one is Body Punk. I read this. I'm going to be talking about it in my wrap-up or maybe I already did. I guess it depends on when I edit what. But this was so excellent. This is, let me read to you the little introduction that the publisher wrote. It says, "This book started at VoidCon. When I found myself talking to an author I've admired for years about the differences between extreme horror and splatterpunk. Their answer was that all real splatterpunk was political. This decree landed well with me because I had already been making my own pronouncement to anyone who would listen to me that body horror is philosophical. The juxtaposition of these two ideas led to what you now hold in your hands." So it is an anthology that tries to bridge the gap between the political nature of splatterpunk and the philosophy of body horror. This was a great read. There were some stories in there that made me squirmy, but that is what I've come to expect when I read a book from Filthy Loot. I really, like, anthologies for me don't usually hit the mark. The anthologies from Filthy Loot are like some of my favorite. Like, these, I look forward to getting them and reading them. Unlike other anthologies where sometimes maybe the theme of them sounds interesting and I want to like them, but I just like don't that much. These are so good. And then this one Hasn't come out yet. It comes out in October. This one's called New Meat in a Clean Room. So the introduction in this one, I also love the introductions because it kind of like puts a boundary or sets a tone for like what you can expect in the book, which also makes me very excited. So this one says, I'm eternally grateful to all the authors who helped flesh out this odd idea of an anthology of post-punk, body horror, and splatterpunk with hauntological overtones, which I'm not even sure I know exactly what that means, but it sounded good when I started emailing people about this years ago. So yes, this includes authors such as Edwin Callahan, Sam Richard, Charlene Elsby, Joe Coach, Justin Lutz, and Brendan Vidito. Some of these authors are often in these anthologies and are authors I've come to like really get excited to read because they're so good. Joe Coach especially, Sam Richard especially, Charlene Elsby especially. So that is Body Punk and New Meat in a Clean Room. So another book, the book that I like intentionally bought this month, knowing I'm kind of breaking my read what I own parameters, is another by Paul Tremblay. But I did buy this mostly for me, honestly, but also because this is a middle grade book that fits into the accelerated reader system level that my 12-year-old is in. And I listened to the audiobook. I talked about it on my like first half of September wrap up, and I really liked it. And I was like, you know what? I think she'll like it. She is a really reluctant reader. So anytime I pick up something and I'm like, I like this, I hope that she will also. And here we are with another, which I think she's liking so far. She's been telling me about it after she reads every night, and I hope she likes it. But I really liked it. This is about a boy named Casey. He has some anxiety issues, some troubles at school fitting in, and they get this kind of like antique phone at an antique store. His parents do, and they bring it home and they get a phone call on it, and he hears his mom answer it, and he hears his mom's side of the conversation where she's like, oh, Casey's friend? Sure, we'd love to have them over. And then, so Casey's like, what friend are you talking about? I don't have friends, which is really sad, right? But he doesn't want to like make his parents sad by being like, hey, I don't have any friends. I don't know who this could possibly be. So he just waits to see what will happen. And what happens is this man shows up with a friend for Casey that Casey doesn't know. And things get really weird after that and kind of change his family a little bit. But this was really good. I don't read a lot of middle grade, but this is an exceptional one in my opinion. Okay, and now some of the pre-orders that have come in this month, or I think one of them was really late last month after I already filmed my wrap-up. The first one here is How to Fake a Haunting by Krista Carmen. Love what I've read from her so far. In this book, we're following a woman who has an abusive partner. She is trying to escape from him and is like really not sure how she could possibly do that. He's threatened her. She's unsure of what to do. So her friend says, we can stage a haunting that will scare him away forever and ever. I'm really excited about this take on like a haunted house story and like what faking a haunting entails. Also, like I said, I love Krista Carmen's work, and I think this one will be just as great. Then we have Shoot Me in the Face on a Beautiful Day by Emma E. Murray, author of Crushing Snails, which I absolutely, it was heartbreaking, but I also loved it. And I believe that one came out last year. I think that's when I read that. This is about a woman in another abusive relationship. And also I know this involves home invasion, which is something I'm really interested in, especially in books. I mean, like, I'm not interested in experiencing it, but I'm interested in consuming entertainment about it, which, I don't know. That's like one thing that really scares me though, and something that I do get paranoid about when I have been watching scary things or reading scary things. I remember, it was like many years ago at this point, it feels like, pre-pandemic, so that was like 20 years ago. Zach was working out of town during the week. He was in LA, and I was home alone, and I was reading I'll Be Home in the Dark by Michelle McNamara, which is a true crime story. And like those like disturb me and fascinate me, but they don't scare me. But this, I had to stop reading because I got so scared, and I can't tell you like the last time that's happened. And it wasn't even like I guess the book itself, you know, was frightening, but what it really caused is me to be paranoid about somebody breaking in to my house in the night. Like, I was having the dog sleep in my room. It made me very paranoid, right? So that's something that I guess I don't necessarily like experiencing it, but it is always kind of interesting when a book evokes that kind of emotion. Next is Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. This is, of course, Rachel Harrison's newest release. This is about a woman named Cleo who, when she was a child, had like, it seemed like a Amityville thing go on. I'm sorry, I have this bug bite on my knee and I keep fidgeting because it's itchy. So it's kind of like the Lutz family in the Amityville situation. And I'm pretty sure that's the family that like bought the house and fled from it, right? The family has to flee from the house because it's haunted. At least that's what Cleo's mother says. And Cleo has always been like, I don't remember any of that. But now her mother has died, and her sibling, maybe multiple siblings, I can't remember, go to prepare the house to sell it, I believe. And maybe it is haunted after all. I don't know. I'm gonna have to read it and find out. But I do love Rachel Harrison's books. I love the cover on this one. I love the purple. It's so really eye-catching against the purple and pink against the white background. And then my last pre-order, one that I'm super stoked about. This is a thick ass book, but this is called Screaming and Conjuring. It's by Clark Collis, and this is a nonfiction about horror. Screaming and Conjuring details the films and frights that led to this extraordinary renaissance, from the release of the groundbreaking Scream in 1996 to the arrival of the 2023's The Conjuring, which spawned a multi-billion-dollar franchise. So I'm assuming we're kind of analyzing why this may have happened, what kind of movies came out between then. It sounds so fucking cool. And there are pictures. And it's like this really nice, glossy, almost like when they put the gold foil on pages, but it's black instead. It's not just like sprayed edges, you know? It's so nice. It's a beautiful book. It's really thick. I love that it's one of the hardcovers with the design printed on it as opposed to it having a dust jacket. I'm just really excited about this. You guys know I love horror movies. The title is like textured, if you can hear that. What a really just nicely put together book. Last book for this video is Fevered Star by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is the second book in the Between Earth and Sky series. It comes with a nice bookmark, and it's a very beautiful cover. Beautiful cover. Let's take this jacket off. I said, let's take this jacket off. Stamped, foil stamped, hardcover. Of course, the sprayed edges, and then the illustrated end pages, which are very beautiful. I don't know what this is about because it is the sequel to a series, but it is done beautifully. It has a cool silk bookmark. Okay, so those are the books that I've acquired throughout the month. I am here today with a book haul for October. Okay, so if you've seen my videos in the last couple months, you might be thinking, I thought you weren't buying books. I thought you were doing a read what you own challenge. And long story short, I was. And then I decided that I didn't want to do it anymore. More on that in my last vlog for Halloween-a-thon. This includes some of the thickest books I've seen all year. One of those is Mirrored Heavens by Rebecca Rowan Horace. This is the last in the series that starts with Black Sun. I can never remember what it's called. I don't know what it's about. I have no idea. This came from The Broken Binding. This is part of their fantasy subscription, the one where they're putting out series. I think they might have a separate one where it's standalone. I can't be sure, and I don't want to look. I got the October Evernight package, which included You Weren't Meant to Be Human by Andrew Joseph White this month. This is a strange apocalyptic story. Something about like bugs, a hive. The edition is really gorgeous though. I'm really interested in what this book is about. It was one of my most anticipated for the second half of the year. Playing Wolf by Zuzana Riova. This is about a couple and their like teenage son, I think. They moved to this more remote area, a small village. The village people are like not super chill about new people being in their community, of course. The couple keeps seeing these flyers about like a wolf, but it's like from a fairy tale, so they're like, okay, I don't know what's going on with that. Then one night they're out, they come home and their son is gone and they have no idea where he went. And that's this book, I don't know. This is another one of my most anticipated reads for the second half of the year. It says, a dark social tale that slides inexorably towards psychological horror. So, sounds right up my alley. Then, what I'm also really fucking excited about, when I included this in my most anticipated, I keep saying that, but like a lot of these I bought because I really wanted to read them, obviously. This didn't have a cover yet. So, you have not seen this cover on my channel at least. And I'm hoping that the cover of this will entice you to pick it up. I've not read it yet, but this is called Mother Eating. It's by Jess Hagman. And, okay, let me read to you the synopsis because it sounds so bananas. A modern retelling of Marie Antoinette's reign as the Queen of France, but set in Austin, Texas. Instead of marrying her daughter off to King Louis, Risa Habsburg sells Mary Tony to a pseudo-religious, torture-happy cult in exchange for a TV contract. What is up with that? I have no idea. I'm really anticipating a really strange time. She signed this for me, a personal signature, so nice. I can't wait to read this. I also, from Pango, picked up The Lamb Will Slaughter the Lion by Margaret Killjoy. Someone recommended this book to me some time ago. When did this even come out? 2017. So yeah, this could have been as early as like my first year filming shit on YouTube. So I don't, if that was you, tell me if you're still there, whenever this was, I don't know. But this is described as an anarcho-punk fantasy. If you've watched my Halloween-a-thon vlog, you might know what's coming next, and that is the shit that I bought from thrift books that I'm like unhappy about the condition of them. And one of them was an ARC. They're replacing it, but it's like, you just can't, there's no guarantee that I'm going to get what I fucking paid for, which is irritating. And it didn't used to be that way. It didn't used to be that way at all. And so it's very frustrating to me, especially because the prices are getting more expensive, period, across the board. And then like I might be able to find an actual good copy of this for the price that I paid to get a shitty one from thrift books when I was supposed to get one that was in better condition. It's really irritating to me. It's like they literally just throw in whatever copy of the book they have in the warehouse. So anyway, I bought a copy of The Jungle by Upton Sinclair. This is a book I read when I was a teenager and I was like horrified, I guess is the word for it. This is about an immigrant family coming to America during the Industrial Revolution. So this is also, Part of the reason why I bought this is because we've been learning about the market revolution and the industrial revolution in the history class I'm taking. And of course, then I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know what happened to my copy of The Jungle. It might have just gotten left behind when I moved, left behind with my mom. Then I was thinking about this book because it's like, this is not exaggerated. And if I'm remembering correctly, Upton Sinclair wrote this to like alert people of the horrors of what was happening to people. And it's not even just the industry of it, like working in these horrible factories where people would get literally mutilated, but also like the predatory practices of, like, I remember there's this scene in it when the family buys like furniture on credit and they don't like really understand exactly what that entails. And I think, you know, the people who sold them that knew that and knew that they'd be able to recoup this and recoup a bunch of money. And it's just like, I don't know. And learning about this in my class, literally the moment people broadly started working for a hourly wage or a daily wage, doing wage labor, companies immediately started taking advantage of their workers. And it's like, holy fuck. It's just from the conception been like that. It's crazy. So that's why I bought that book. I'd like to read it again. Then I also got this Bentass copy of Dangerous Pregnancies by Leslie J. Reagan. This is like a history, medical history, social science, gender studies type of book about pregnancy, which is something that interests me. The way things can go wrong and the way we do things wrong here in America and how that affects pregnant people. Another one that doesn't make sense here, Halloween by Gary Holloman. Been looking for a copy of this for forever. Popped up on my thrift books when I was looking through my lists, and it said good. It said good condition copy. I would say for the most part this is a really good condition, except for it has this nick, like the spine, it looks like it's never been read, but it does have this tear in the cover, which is maybe why it's labeled as that. But this one, it's really fun. It has this acrostic on the back, so it says, "Hear the demons wail in the night, out of terror and out of fright, werewolves, witch doctors, and zombies too, lurk in the dark and wait for you. Other scary creatures dwell, where they can drive you off to hell. Evil waits for black midnight, enchanting with magic and dark voodoo. Now Halloween has cast its spell." Those last couple ones are kind of clunky, but pretty good. I don't know, mostly I want this because of the cover, to be honest. Maybe I'll read it in an October in the future. I ordered like a new or very good copy of Wifey by Judy Blume. It's all fucked up, it's like ripped, it's bent. Fuck thrift books, honestly, like I'm just done with it. It's so frustrating that the experience ordering from them has tanked so, like I've been ordering from thrift books. The first time I remember I was pregnant with my daughter, so that was like 13 fucking years ago. I've been ordering from them for so long, and it's really been so consistent until maybe 2-3 years ago, and it's been awful since. Every order I get, I get sent an ARC, I get sent an edition that's in a different format than it should be, a different ISBN than it should have, because I really am particular about that. And that used to be okay, so it's like, why is that not now? Why is that not now? Why am I getting sent a new book that has a totally ripped cover? It's so frustrating. So this is about Wifey. It says, the national bestseller of a very nice housewife with a very dirty mind. So I'm excited to read this. I specifically searched for this cover. It is very, very sensational. I also bought a copy of Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. She is a Japanese author. I just know that this is kind of weird. It says she feels pressure to pursue a career and to find a husband. She's kind of a weirdo. She really just enjoys working at the convenience store she works at. I don't know. I just hear that it's weird and good, and I've really been wanting to try her work. Okay, another nonfiction I picked up is Action Park by Andy Mulvihill and Jake Rawson. And this is about I can't remember where this is. I tried to look on the back of this earlier, but if I'm remembering right, it might have been like New Jersey. It was this amusement park that like just a guy owned, and he would like come up with these structures, these ideas for rides, and I feel like specifically a lot of water park stuff on his own, and then he'd just like hire a person to build it. And he was not an engineer. He did not think about the physics of things, so like people were seriously injured, and some people even died, which is not funny, but you know, people got really hurt there, and eventually it had to close down. But it was up and running for longer than you might think. Longer than you might expect. Then I found a copy of Diquette by Jenny Fran Davis, and first of all, love the cover of this. So strange. Great colors too. This is about like 3 gay couples who get together, and I don't know, like I'm not really sure if this is something that has a strong plot line, or it seems more character driven, but it says it captures the vagaries of desire with the many devastating places in which we seek recognition. Then I bought a copy of Hakuloa Road by Elizabeth Hand, and let me tell you, there's a Goodwill sticker on this that says $2, and I definitely paid more than that for this. So this is like more of a thriller novel about a man who is hired to be a caretaker for a luxury property in Hawaii. The estate is on the remote Hakuloa Road, and I don't know, it seems like there are secrets that, I don't know if it's like the landowner or maybe the people in the surrounding area are trying to keep secret. Secrets they're trying to keep secret. Okay, last thing from Thrift Books is Fake Accounts by Lauren Euler. This is about a woman who finds out her boyfriend is an anonymous internet conspiracy theorist, and not only is he one, he runs a very popular account, and it kind of makes her question everything. And then finally, I went to Barnes & Noble yesterday. I had a good time. There were some things there that I had read and thought about picking up, but I had a budget for myself and I had to stick within that budget, especially because one of the books I fucking bought was $40. It was $40. It's just a regular ass hardcover book. I can't believe that. Crazy, insane to me. First one I picked up is Butter by Asako Yuzuki. This is about a gourmet cook named Manako Kaji, and she has been accused of serial murdering men. It says it's based on the real case of a convicted con woman and serial killer, the Konkatsu Killer. So I'm really excited about this. I've heard people talk about this, but I can't remember if the reviews were good or bad. But of course, that doesn't deter me from picking up a book and trying it out for myself anyway. But I'm really excited for that. I just really love the cover and the colors on this. I love the like shiny red stuff, the blood, the cow. I also picked up one I read in September, I think, and really liked. I had an art copy of it. That is The Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre by Philip Fracassi. This is a great book full of characters that are so full of life, despite them living in an elderly folks' home. So these are like octogenarians who are dealing with kind of a murder mystery and it's so strange because it's like part of this almost feels like a cozy mystery, but then the murders happen and they're pretty damn dark. So I really liked this. The main character is an elderly woman named Rose, and her friends are being killed in this place that she expects to be so safe. So it really upsets people, and she doesn't know who it could possibly be. There are some really great red herrings in this, and all around I just found it really great. And of course, it's by Philip Fracassi. It's a little bit different than books that I've read of his before. and I really still liked it. I also picked up, finally, The End of the World as We Know It, which is an anthology of stories set in the world of Stephen King's The Stand. So these are stories that take place before, during, and after. I'm really fucking excited because I saw that Poppy C. Bright has a story included in this, which makes me ecstatic. It has a great table of contents. So many stellar authors that I already really enjoy, and so I'm super excited to crack this honker open. This is like 750 pages. It's a big boy. And then the biggest boy of all, I picked up a copy of King Sorrow by Joe Hill, which came out very recently. This is almost a 900-page book. It's big. It was $40 before, like, because I have a membership. $40 before my membership, which is kind of insane. Anyway, this is a haunted story that takes place over a number of years. This is about these friends who make this deal with a dragon called King Sorrow, and it's a Faustian bargain, right? So like, you might get more than you bargained for. And for them, the terms of this is that they get whatever they asked for. I don't know what that is, obviously. But in exchange, King Sorrow demands a sacrifice, I think, each year. And I don't know if that is like one sacrifice per group or one sacrifice per person in the group. I will find out though, because I'm gonna read this fucking book and it's gonna be a great time. I actually got an ALC of this from Libro FM at the beginning of October. I'm so fucking stoked. So that will definitely make this go by faster because I can read when I can't, or I can listen when I can't read, and then I can read when I want to read. Those are the books that I have picked up in the last month. I'd love to know, I'm always so interested if you guys have read any of these, what you thought about them, if you loved them, if you didn't so much. Also, okay, so I have a plan for something I want to do beginning probably just for 2026 because I've been changing it up a little bit in the way that I do my TBRs. So like sometimes I do a TBR jar. One year I rolled and picked things off of my TBR cart. This year I've been doing, which I didn't this month, I guess, because it might be a little bit of a busy month with Thanksgiving coming up. But this year I've been choosing a random shelf and picking the oldest book or the book that I've owned for the longest on it. So I'm trying to do something like that for next year. But my idea is to do a prompt jar. So I'm going to write up a bunch of prompts, put them in a jar, then I'll draw a prompt each month and add a book to my TBR that fits the prompt. So if you have any fun prompts that you'd like to see possibly, or any fun ones or ones that will stump me to include, let me know, because I think that will be a lot of fun. But that is it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you later. Goodbye.